Hello and welcome to the Danielle Daily Show. I'm so happy to be back here with you guys. The Danielle Daily Show is back at its regularly scheduled time, weekdays at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Thank you so much for hanging with me while I took a break. It was a much needed break. I really needed that time to figure out what the direction of the show was going to be, what I wanted to do to keep this a place that people want to come, that people feel inspired, where you can always find something positive. So this is not going to be an infomercial, but I want to tell you a little bit about what I've been up to while the show has been on break and where I'm at now and where I feel the show is headed. So I hope that if the topic of the show isn't that exciting today, that you'll be a lot more excited to watch tomorrow. So first of all, again, thank you so much for hanging with me. I know I have been all over the place with this show, and that is basically just my creative process. My creative process consists of me doing things, seeing how they feel, getting feedback from you, and then deciding, is this something that I want to continue doing? So throughout the first 100 episodes and the first 2 seasons of the Danielle Daily Show, I got so much amazing feedback from you guys. I developed relationships with people who I was connected with that I didn't really know. And what happened over time was I noticed that we were having a really great time together, but there weren't new people really coming on and watching the show. And for me, it's really important that whatever I am creating and putting out there is growing at an organic pace. And what I found at the end of 100 episodes was that the show wasn't really growing. And so I needed to change the direction of the show, and I needed to take some time out to figure out what that direction will be. So while I was on break, I noticed, I'm getting thumbs ups, yay! And thank you for those feedbacks, the thumbs ups, the hearts, everything. Julio, it's so good to see you, thank you. So I'm just updating everybody on what I've been up to while I was gone and letting you guys know where I'm at now and where I think the show is headed. And from watching me, I'm sure you know that my creative process tends to take some twists and turns and that I don't polish things up before I put them out there for you guys. So what we talk about today as far as the direction the show is going, we may end up pivoting. We will see. I really like to take into account who the viewers are and whether or not the Danielle Daily Show is growing, whether people are sharing it, whether people are really finding value for their lives in it. And if you're a big fan of the Danielle Daily Set's fireplace, well, it is now summer and it is way too hot to have the fireplace on. So I've gone ahead and I've moved myself to the center so that this is still our set, but there's no fire. I've been looking for something beautiful to put behind me. I haven't found anything yet, but I've certainly entertained myself with the idea of buying silly things like a giant frog or a hippopotamus or something to be here with us. But so far, I just haven't found quite the right thing. So while we were on break from the Danielle Daily Show, I noticed that I was having a lot of conversations with people about this idea I had in my head for ways that people could use dating apps more effectively, because there are so many of them out there, and I don't know a lot of single people, but everybody I know seems to know single people who are very frustrated with trying to find love, and so many of them are ready to just give up. They just can't stand this whole world of online dating and dating apps. And so I really found myself, not feeling that same frustration that I was hearing everywhere. And I kind of wondered why. So as I started to investigate, I noticed that I was using dating apps in a different way than other people were. And I was, like everyone else that I talked to, looking for a real relationship. I was looking for a real connection, for somebody to have a long-term relationship with, but I was going about it in a different way as far as how I was communicating through writing my profile, through the messaging that I was doing, through the way that I was meeting with people. And I realized that I was actually having a different experience because I was using the medium a different way. And so I thought, oh, well, that's something I can easily teach people. So while the Danielle Daily Show has been on break, I have come out with an online course called GROW. GROW stands for Give, Receive, Offer, and Win. So give, receive, offer, win. It is a formula that helps people who are using dating apps go through the process of setting up an effective profile, through getting the information they need to get from somebody that they're interested in potentially meeting, how to make the offer to actually meet in person, get out from behind the screen and face to face, and then how to take the feedback that you get from that and integrate it into who you are as a person as well as into your profile, so that if the first person you meet isn't the love of your life, that you're using that to tweak your profile so that each time you meet somebody, you're getting closer and closer and closer to meeting somebody who is going to be the right person for you, rather than making it an exercise in frustration and every time you meet somebody just going, oh my gosh, how is this happening to me? So that is really where my focus has been. It's been on putting together these classes for Grow. It's been about talking to people it's been on talking to people about their experience out there in the dating world. You know, the dating world is not a place I ever wanted to participate in. It's not a place I ever thought that I would find myself, but this is where I am. This is where I found myself in life, and I think that all of us who find ourselves here, whether it's because we chose to or more unexpectedly, we need to make the best of it. And this is an adventure where we get to do things that we never thought we'd get to do again, like go on a first date, things like that. And I know that it isn't always the most enjoyable experience, but it can be a very growth promoting experience. It can be something that is exciting when you allow it to be. So that's what I have been focusing on the last couple of months. So right now I have a free 50-minute class that anyone can sign up for. If you go to my website, it's danielle-watson.com/date. And like I said, I'm not going to make this an infomercial. I just wanted to share with you guys, what has been taking up all my time while I haven't been doing the Danielle Daily Show. So that's out there for anybody who wants it. I will put the link in the comments. And as far as where the show is going, so there's a reason that I use the acronym GROW for my formula for dating apps. And remember, it's give, receive, offer, win. This formula, yes, it is specific to success with communication through dating apps, but the idea of growing is something that's pervasive in my life, and it's really what I want to focus the show on moving forward. So yes, sometimes I will be talking about dating, but a lot of time I'm just going to talk about personal growth. I mean, we're all getting feedback all of the time, right? That's helping us discover in which directions we need to go. Thank you for the thumbs ups. I appreciate that. There's so much going on in our lives. Every experience that we have is an opportunity for us to evolve ourselves as human beings. And that's really what I want the Danielle Daily Show to be about. I want it to be about each of us growing, each of us evolving into that next level version of ourselves. So dating is really just a pressure cooker environment of that. It's high stakes. There's a lot of hopes and fears and dreams that go into that. But we all have hopes and fears and dreams for our regular life. So like I said, some days I'll be talking about dating. Some days I'll just be talking about regular old personal growth. Some days this might be a little bit of a video journal where I tell you a little bit about my interesting experiences in the world. And if there's something that you would really like to see in the Danielle Daily Show, maybe a certain weekly feature or some topic that you would like me to cover, one of my favorite things in the first 100 episodes is when people would just send me questions and say, I'd really like to hear your take on this. And I love providing that, not because I feel like I have the right answer, but because I usually have a take on things that's a little bit different than how other people are thinking about things. And that's because of my background in anthropology and archaeology. I'm just trained to look at situations differently than other people are. And so I love to share that feedback and that perspective with you to give you another lens through which to look at something that's going on with you or in your life or with somebody you love, to get you thinking about it in a different way so that maybe you come to some different conclusions, so that you might think about it in a way you hadn't thought about it before, that just makes you go, oh, now I get it, now I understand. So please, at any time, feel free to send me your questions. I will answer them on the show. If they're very private, I may not answer them on the show. And if I do answer them on the show, I will not use your name, of course, unless I have your permission. So, you know, that's where the show is headed. I want to continue talking about growth. I want to talk about the growth that happens as we go through trying to find the right partner for our life. And I want to share more about this perspective that I have that's pretty unique, having this background in anthropology and archaeology. I mean, it's not every day that you get to talk face to face with an anthropologist, right? I think that's a really interesting part of my background that I don't necessarily talk a lot about, because it just feels so normal and natural for me to look at things from a different perspective. And I feel that has really been a big help to me. It has assisted me greatly in studying this area of dating apps and relationships, because I had basically no experience dating. I had been with my husband since I was 19, and before that I was in a 3-year relationship with another man. So basically I have been in a relationship my entire adult life until I found myself divorced. And what's great, if you are an anthropologist, one of your roles is something called the participant observer. So back when the world was less developed, anthropologists used to go out into the field, out into the world, to places that no one had been before, or very few Western people had been before, and study the native cultures. And they were expected to participate in the local culture, but not to become a part of it. And I think that is what has given me a really unique edge in looking at this environment of dating apps, because I didn't have any experience dating. So I wasn't like a fish, you know, trying to explain water to somebody. This was a non-native environment for me. And so I came into this environment and I was able to participate in it, but I wasn't necessarily a part of it because it wasn't part of my experience. And so I was able to observe things that maybe other people just don't look for. And I feel like that was a really great way for me to come up with, okay, why isn't this working for people, and see it from that outside perspective. So yes, I'm out there, I am dating, I'm using dating apps to meet people who are just as serious as I am about looking for a relationship, but I'm also able to sort of view this dating culture through this outsider's lens, and to study it and to try to understand it and figure out what in this human system has broken down, because dating apps are this incredibly powerful tool. I described it recently to someone as they're like a magic wand, but nobody knows it's a magic wand, and it's like they're using the wand as a toothpick. Like there's so much user error going on out there. And so my goal is to just help people figure out how to use these things so that they can find somebody to spend their life with. You guys know that there is nothing I love more than love. I am a ridiculously hopeless romantic, and there's pretty much nothing I would like more in the world than for eventually the show to turn into people commenting saying, I used your formula and here's a picture of me and the love of my life, or I'm going on a date, I found somebody amazing. To have those kinds of pictures flooding in would be like the be-all end-all for me. I would feel like, okay, I can die happy now. my life purpose has been fulfilled. So that is today's Danielle Daily Show. Just an update on what I've been doing, where I'm at now, where I feel the show is going. I want and need feedback from you guys. I need to know what it is that you love about the show and what you think could be better, because yes, I have my ideas about how things are, but even with this dating app thing, I'm getting input from other people. So I can't think it all on my own. I can't do it all on my own. And nothing makes me feel better than, you know, being here with you guys, for you guys. So please let me know what it is you need. I'm happy to help. And that's all for today. I will see you back here again tomorrow. Remember, the Danielle Daily Show is back at its usual time, weekdays at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, and I will see you back here tomorrow. I love you guys. See you then. Mwah. Bye.